In Bella Vista, we are so fortunate to have 7 Bella Vista POA member lakes. They're fun for recreation and also for fishing opportunities. Today on Let's Go Outside, we're going to go fly fishing and see what we can catch. Our Bella Vista lakes have a wide variety of game fish, from stripers to largemouth bass to sunfish, brim, and also on Lake Brittany, there's trout. We're going to go fly fishing for trout, and we're going to go ashore now, and we're going to talk a little bit about flies, and then we're going to go fish, and we're going to go from lake to plate. Fly fishing is all I know how to do. I've been fly fishing for over 60 years. And this is your opportunity, dear viewer, to say, "Oh my Carol, you don't look that old." But it's been my pleasure to have taught fly fishing for decades. Thousands of people. It's accessible to everyone. But let's talk about some flies, which are the basis of fly fishing. We don't call them lures. They're flies. And all of these flies are a little bit different. There are flies that sink. Some of them are very, very tiny, applicable for trout, brim, sunfish, but they will sink. They may be a little fluffy, but they'll absorb water, and that will make them sink under the surface of the water. There are larger flies that also float. This black one, this one, this one is made out of foam. They all float as well. They're a little larger, but I've caught plenty of sunfish on these. But you can also fly fish for bass with these flies as well. Fly fishing is very, very effective in saltwater as well. These are saltwater flies. Many of them imitate shrimp. And again, they're designed to sink a little bit, and when they do, the feathers will get wet and they will imitate movement in the water, and it will streamline the visual of this fly. Generally speaking, flies are made from natural materials like deer hair, wool, feathers, but we also use sometimes synthetics, and in the past couple of decades those have become very common. Something like this with a mylar tube. This is also some material. If that doesn't look like a shrimp, I don't know what does. It's absolutely perfect. Many saltwater flies are designed to ride upside down, like this. They will go along the bottom for something like bonefish in fairly shallow water. So there is an application for fly fishing for every type of fish. Saltwater, freshwater, warm water, cold water. Fly fishing is not just about standing in a river or a stream. You can fly fish from a dock, from a boat in the ocean. So give fly fishing an opportunity if it's of interest to you. We also have the Bella Vista Flyters Club, which is an organization concerned with fly fishing and conservation. And every year we do a few fly fishing, fly casting clinics. So keep that in mind. Now let's go and catch some fish. So here we are at Lake Brittany. We can fly fish from a boat, a dock here. For some reason, I think it's going to feel really good to be in the water right now. So we're going to do some fly fishing here. I've got a fly rod, fly reel, and there's different types, but for what we're going to fish for today, which could be trout, sunfish, or bass, we're just going to use a medium kind of weight of fly rod. I've got a fly here that I'm going to use. It has a rabbit skin and a head made of wool. It's going to absorb a little water when it gets wet, so it's going to sink, but not like a rock. It'll just be just below the water column. So I'm going to cast the fly out I'm going to retrieve it by pulling on the line under my finger, keeping in control of the line the whole time. I pull the line, retrieve the fly, and when it gets close enough to me, I pick it up, pick the line up off the water, and start all over. When we fly fish, we are casting the fly line, this part. The clear part on the end that the fly is attached to is called a leader, and its job is to provide a clear connection between the fly line and the fly. We cast fly line, not really the fly, it weighs hardly anything, but we're casting the fly line. The rod acts like a lever. This is 9 feet long, which is fairly standard, and it will flex due to the fly line going back and coming forward as I make the casting motion. It's a very small motion. It's not anything exaggerated. Most people can transition fairly well from other types of fishing like lures or things like that, but less is more when you're fly fishing. The rod does the work. You're not chunking a lure. People of all ages can fly fish. I've taught thousands of people over the years, whether they're women, children, teenagers. It is not a hard thing to do. Sometimes I think that people like to make it seem hard, but it really isn't. So first thing is I'm going to let out some fly line. 9-foot rod, so I want to let out some line that is at least the length of my fly rod, and that way that line will help my rod flex and I'll be able to cast it forward. Hopefully we'll catch a fish. And when we do, we're going to go to my house and we're going to clean it and prepare to go to Susan's house, where we're going to cook it on an open fire in a cast iron skillet. But remember, sunglasses are important to wear, and a cooler is handy to put your fish in. So let's go fly fishing right now. I've got fly line off enough to load the fly rod. You see how I'm not doing a whole lot of action, but it's not a wrist action. I'm using my forearm, big muscles. Fly's in the water. I'm going to retrieve the fly line from under my finger, back behind my finger, and make the fly move. You can pick it up and try another location. The interesting thing about fish is they can be at different locations on lakes at different times of the day. When it's really sunny, because fish don't have sunglasses, they oftentimes can hide in shade or in a sheltered area. And retrieval of flies can be fast, it can be slow. Sometimes you have to find the rhythm of the movement of the fly that the fish wants. See how I'm letting the fly line straighten out behind me? See how the rod's flexing? I like to keep the rod tip down toward the water because when a fish takes the fly, I pull on the fly line, clamp it under my finger, and set the hook that way. If I have a lot of slack like this, I can't hook my fish until all this slack is out. And that is not fun. You'll probably miss a lot of fish if you don't do it this way. We have a saying in fly fishing called tight lines. Well, that's kind of what this means. You can catch more fish with a tight line than you can a fly line with a lot of overhang while you're manipulating the fly. I'm going to speed this up because I was doing it slowly. Not much of a reaction. Well, I'm not seeing much fish activity here. We may go over to one of the docks on Brittany and give it a try there. So here we have our trout. If this were a bass or a brim or a sunfish that has hard scales, the first thing we would do was attach the fish to this cleaning board, the tail of it, which will hold it still. We'd angle this and we would scrape all the scales off. Because this is a member of the salmon family, it doesn't really have scales like that. It's more of a gelatinous type of material that will quickly go away, so you don't have to get the scales off. First thing we're going to do is we're going to gut the fish. Right here at the vent, we're going to make a shallow cut because we don't want to open up the entrails. We just want to make it very shallow through the skin between these fins. So now we're showing all of the internals of this trout. Now when I made that small incision, I used a shorter blade. But we're going to cut the head off now, or at least begin to remove the head. We're going to cut beyond these fins right here, from the top of the head, to a slight angle. And we're going to cut through the backbone. Now, we should be able to grab the head, pull it, and all the entrails are coming out all at once. Some camera people are not thinking this is fun. So we have the head off, and all the entrails came out in one big lump, and that's okay. Now, we also have the kidney and the bloodline right here in the middle. You do want to get rid of that. I like to use just a teaspoon. You can use your thumbs, but my thumbs are not that strong. So we're just going to scrape this out.
Morning, neighbor.
We're just going to scrape this out. And it'll come out all in one piece as well. We put this over here. Now at this point in time, we want to take this and rinse it out really well or in water. Whether it's a kitchen sink or a hose or something like that, you want to rinse it out. So to fillet it, you just cut along using the backbone as a guide, flip it over on the other side, and do the same thing. And when you get done with that, there will be rib bones here. Just cut those out, and you're ready to go cook your fish. And as a side point, when you wash your hands after all this, they're still going to smell fishy. But if you use a lemon, you can clean that fishy smell off of your hands when you get through washing them. Cleanup is important as well. Just roll up your newspaper with the head and the entrails. Put it in a bag like this, or any cheap bag, tie it up and put it in your freezer until it's garbage day. And then, well, since it's frozen, it won't stink. You can take it and put it in your garbage, and no animals will try and get in your trash. So let's go to Susan's and cook some fish and have a wonderful dinner. So now we're going to cook our trout. One of my favorite programs that I did as a park ranger was, now that I've caught it, what do I do with it? And it was about fish cleaning and then fish cooking over an open fire. One of the handiest ways to start a fire, rather than taking lighter fuel or anything like that with you when you're camping, particularly maybe canoe camping or just going in backcountry, is to use cotton balls. Put Vaseline in the center, kind of fray the cotton balls out a little bit, and they are an excellent fire starter. You want to keep it in an airtight container, and it starts fire. We've got a cast iron skillet that we're going to use. It's warming up right now, and then we're going to put our trout that we cleaned earlier in there, and we're going to cook it. It's not going to take very long. And our friend Susan, we're at her house, and she has prepared part of a meal as well. All sorts of yummy things, I'm sure. We're going to find out more from her in just a little bit. Well, we are here with Susan Sage, host of Culinary Journey on Bella Vista Community Television. And Susan has graciously offered us to come to her house and to cook our trout out in her fire pit. And she is making some delicious looking things to go with our trout feast.
I wanted to keep this nice and light. So to go with our trout, I am doing curried rice pilaf with apricots and walnuts.
Oh, wow.
So I'm going to do it in the rice cooker, and we start with a tablespoon of unsalted butter. We let that melt, and there will be a few steps in this. Once that has melted, we are going to add our chopped onion, which half cup. And
Onions make everything better, don't they?
yes, curry powder, which we have 1.5 teaspoons of curry powder and a half teaspoon of turmeric. So we're going to let that cook together for a little bit, get those flavors going. We are going to use onion broth, which I can myself.
Oh,
And the
wow.
beauty of the onion broth, I think it'll give us some really good, intense flavor because it also has onions and turmeric in it.
Ooh.
Yeah, and to make it, you actually save all your old onions, but then you can add new. No roots, but you can do the skins, all the rest. Could be green onions, red onions, doesn't matter, just mix them up.
Wow.
You throw them in the crock pot, a few seasonings, a little bit of water, let it go for 24 hours, and then you can it. So you get out all your ball jars and get it ready to go.
And you can use this for a variety of things, I guess.
Yes, as a matter of fact, you can use it in place of chicken broth, beef broth, vegetable broth, and you're going to get a much richer flavor than you would in any of those.
Nice.
So, yeah, and we try, whenever we make rice, we always use it. And it has made a big difference.
I can't
there's
wait.
just so much more flavor. So 2 cups of long grain rice. I'm using jasmine. That's our favorite. But of course, you can use whatever long grain you want. And then it's 2¼ cups of the broth. Okay, that's going to take a little while to cook. So while that's happening, we can work on our little caprese salad, which I'm doing this a little different. Most of the time, you'll just take your skewers and you put them together with your tomato and basil and mozzarella. This particular recipe has you put the dressing, marinate the tomatoes, the mozzarella, and the basil in the dressing. Most of the time you put them together, then put the dressing on, or just a balsamic glaze. So this one's a little bit different.
I like this idea.
And again, it's nice and light. The tomatoes are from the farmer's market this morning.
Oh, wow.
So very
Good.
fresh. So
Well, I can go
check on the fish.
check on the fish. So we have our fire, our skillet, a cast iron skillet, it has been preheating. So it's nice and warm. If you put a cold cast iron skillet on a fire, it'll probably crack. So We're all prepared for that. We have our trout. I've put onions, garlic, turmeric, sage, lemon, and paprika, which I love to use on any kind of fish because it gives it a nice uniform color and makes it very appetizing. So we're going to put this on our fire in our skillet. It's not going to take very long for this to cook because they're fairly thin. You know, we started out with that trout this morning, cleaning it and all, and now we have it all cleaned and ready to cook. But it's not, certainly not as big as it was earlier. And in honor of the trout, we have a trout platter. I've had this for years. It's just fun. Pay homage to the trout. So when we cleaned our fish, I left the skin on because it'll keep the fish together and it'll keep the fish from burning when we cook it. A lot of people even like to eat it. It gets crispy, and a lot of people think it's delicious like that. Now when our trout is done, we're going to take the trout out of the skillet, put it on our platter, and we're going to let our cast iron skillet cool down. But what you really want to do to clean it, because it's preheated, nothing's going to stick to it. I put olive oil in there, so it's not going to have any stickiness going on. But really, you just kind of want to wipe it out. I run some hot water on it, wipe it out really good with paper towels, and just put it away at all. You don't want water sitting in it. You don't want to use soap on it. This skillet was my great-grandfather's. I've never seasoned it because I haven't had to, because it's always been treated the way it should be treated. No soap, just water, just wiping it out. Because if you think it has any germs or cooties in it, when you preheat it on fire or in your oven, it's going to kill anything that might be on there anyway. I moved the skillet around a little bit because it was hotter. It's hotter on one side than it is on the other. No big deal. So I've moved the skillet. Of course, it's very hot, and we want to use a mitt. This one's been burned a few times, but nobody cares. We'll burn it again. When it's a little bit flaky, we will know that it is done. And again, that skin is protecting it from burning, from falling apart. So trout sure is sizzling, and it's probably getting a little smoky taste as well from the smoke from the fire. So I think it's going to turn out really well. And I think it's about done. Now we're going to take it off the fire and let it cool down. Here's our trout.
Oh my gosh, that looks really, really yummy. It looks and smells divine. I love trout.
And that smells wonderful. I like the curry smell.
I know, it's nice and bright yellow and should be ready here any second.
Well, we'll have a few more minutes and it'll be ready.
Yeah, because we want it nice and fluffy.
We do.
And then we're going to sprinkle it with some walnuts.
I bet that adds a neat texture to rice.
Oh, I know, because rice doesn't really have any.
Texture, that's true.
Rice is just rice. Doesn't really have flavor or texture.
Well, you give it flavor.
Exactly. Well, that's the beauty of it.
That's the wonderful thing that you've done right there.
Okay, so there we have our rice dish. We've got our caprese salad. We have our protein and our beverage.
It doesn't get much better.
What more could a girl want? Shall we
Perfect.
fix plates and head outside?
I think we should try it outside.
Okay.
Let's go outside.
Great idea.
Well, cheers, my friend.
Cheers.
Let's eat.
Yes. Really good.
Well, our thanks to Susan. And we hope you learned something from this, or at least had some fun watching everything. I know we always have fun together. So,
Yes, we do.
so watch Susan and go on a culinary journey with her. And after you do that, we'll go outside. Thank you for watching.